Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Bria Scow and this is the Magnetic Aesthetic, an art business that I started in 2023 to share with you guys my art process, my projects that I'm working on, behind the scenes, and so much more. Today I'm very excited to take you on a small tour of my art studio setup. It's basically a desk with a bunch of storage in the middle of my living room, which my roommate has graciously allowed me to take over the space pretty much and set up my art studio here. Thank you, James. Appreciate you. Sorry for the mess sometimes, but you know, try to keep it clean, try to keep it organized. That way I'm motivated myself to do more projects. It just feels better when everything is organized and in the place that it's supposed to be, okay? I love that shit. I'm here for it all day long. So some of the items that I have that I want to share with you guys specifically today are my earring supplies, paints, canvases, storing all of my printmaking supplies and block printing materials, things that I'm inspired by. I make sure that I can see them and they are directly in front of me, otherwise I will forget that they exist. I want to show you guys how I organize some of my drawers and my tools and my merchandise that you can kind of see in the background there. T-shirts and tote bags, some of the more fabric merchandise that I have been making. I want to show you how I organize that, and I have a lot of tips and tricks for you guys on how to keep your desk organized and stay motivated at the same time. If you stay till the end, I have an important announcement for you that relates to my business and maybe the launching of my website, so stick around for that. If you have any ideas along the way how I could improve on my organization, then please comment that below. I'm very interested to hear what you guys are doing. I always watch YouTube videos on how people organize their studios. I always have. Very excited to film my own finally for you guys, so please stay tuned and I hope you love it as much as me. I'm gonna start with the top of my desk. This is the most important part to me because these are the items that I see on a day-to-day basis. I sit down at my desk and I see these items immediately. At the top of my desk, going left to right, over here the vibe is essential, so we have essential oils and a diffuser. This is kind of my miscellaneous box. Right now I just have scraps of transfer paper that I use for making stamps. These are black labels. In this box I have a bunch of miscellaneous stuff again. I have my ink pads in here for making prints, stamping on paper, ribbon that I use for making tags for hats and clothing, miscellaneous tags. Under here I just keep my miscellaneous electronics that I use daily. In this bin I keep my painting supplies, and my screen printing items are down here. These are all of my screen printing inks and the tools I use to carve block prints. And I keep my rollers here as well. I keep my paintbrushes up here. These are the bigger ones in the little tub. I keep a jar of water right here with my go-to paintbrushes in it. And these are all of my miscellaneous paintbrushes back here. So as you'll see under here, I keep all of my block printing supplies. These are the things that I'm working on most these days, so I wanted to have easy access to my supplies. So under here, I keep more of the larger blocks that I buy. These ones are a work in progress, the set of 4 that I'm making. So I buy all of these off of Amazon because that's where I can find the cheapest price for the larger blocks. And this one I keep the smaller blocks. So these are 4x6, I believe. And you can order these as a variety pack on Amazon as well. And in this one I keep miscellaneous pieces, scraps. I can use these for small designs. I just freehand on these pieces majority of the time, just finding shapes that fit and making the most out of the product that I buy. So now I'm going to take you guys underneath my desk. This is where I keep my bulkier items, stuff I don't use every day, but something I can easily reach under my desk and grab. These are all of the items that I store under here. On the left, you can see that's where I'm holding some of my art prints that I have done. Over here in this cubby, I have some shipping supplies. Up here on the top of that, I have my camera and then everything for my waitressing job. So like notepads and extra pens and stuff in the little bin to the left of that. In this cubby right here is where I keep all of my paint on the bottom too, and then I keep miscellaneous craft supplies that's kind of bulky in the top one. This is where I keep all of my acrylics. This is where I keep bulkier items like my white paint, gesso, my black paint, and then up here is where I keep all of my stamps that I have made. This bottom tote here has some signage. And tablecloths are down here as well as more signage. In this next drawer here are kind of blank wooden items that I've worked on. Here are just some trays that I have completed. So these ones are painted and sealed. They're ready to be sold. They're simple to make. I love these kinds of projects. On the top of this drawer, I have a baking sheet for when I bake my earrings. And then I have my paper cutter over here. You can see in between these two cubbies, I have a little spot where I keep pieces of glass I can use for screen printing and rolling ink onto. And I also keep this big piece of tile that I use for making earrings. It's a non-porous flat surface and it's very easy to clean, so I will pull this out when I am making earrings. So over here I keep all of my small canvases and things I don't use that often. I keep some bulk paint. I also keep this tote with a bunch of tools on hand that I use frequently. I have a bunch of tools stored away in a different part of my house that I don't use as often, and there's a whole bin full of tools and drill bits. I have a power saw, a bunch of power tools that I use very infrequently. I keep those in a completely different part of my house, but these are the ones that I use. Tucked back here, I also keep some of my larger paper for drawing. Next, I'm going to take you guys through the storage that I have to the right of my desk. On this left-hand side here, this is where I keep supplies that I use pretty frequently. So I will keep protective gear like gloves in here, and then all of my paper is on the top. Watercolor paper is over here, printing paper over here, graph paper, graphite paper, sanding paper. Underneath here I keep various supplies, but masking tape being one of them. This is bleach and fabric dye. There you can see that I have some more texture art supplies, like on the bottom here I have some scrapers. These are hooks that I use for various things. I use these all over my house. I always pick hooks up when I see them at Menards. I keep my oil pastels and my watercolors down over here, and then extra clipboards over here. As you can see, I like to keep smaller containers that are divided into categories, so not everything is just free floating. Keep glue, tape, staplers, and pencil sharpeners, a little corner punch over here. And then I do have things behind here as well, like I'll keep chalk in the back and black charcoal pieces. Because I don't use those that much, I put those in the back. And then over here I keep labels, different size labels for different things, notepads, sticky notes, pencil lead and erasers. I have a hole punch. In the second drawer I have things like paper clips, rubber bands, thumbtacks, and then also divided into little tiny drawers. I can pull this out if I need to, and these are all of my clips. Third drawer down, I keep a bunch of rollers for painting. extra foam rollers, rolling supplies, extra rollers again. Here I have some stickers, and then here in this container I carry extra disposable paintbrushes and foam paintbrushes. In this drawer I carry some stencils and watercolor brushes, and then underneath here I just have some more bulkier items I use less frequently, like squares. So in this bottom drawer is where I keep my utility tools, like box cutters, and I have a level in here, pliers, screwdrivers, safety glasses, a necessity, and razor blades, measuring tapes. These are all my command strips and Velcro products that I keep under here. So on top of the storage unit is also where I keep my coffee maker. I keep it at my desk because I don't have enough room in my kitchen, and also this is the space where I need coffee, so I keep it here. On top of here is my heat press machine that I use. It's a 5-in-1, so I keep the extra components in this file cabinet that's in the background here. This utility cart I have to the left-hand side of my desk here holds all of my earring supplies. On the top of the utility cart is where I keep my most used tools, like pliers, glue, and glazes for my earrings. And then in here I have tools like ring sizers and hand files. In this bin over here I keep all of my chain, my wire. On the second shelf here I carry things like, these are blank wood pieces that I buy from Michaels. These ones are ones that I have stained and painted, so they are ready to have a top coat or painted design on them. In this bin right here I keep my tiny beads, things like pins, blank pins that are ready to have things put on them. These are earrings that are painted and coated, so they are ready to be used for jewelry making. And back here we have tiny pom-poms, and this container is full of wooden beads and seashells. These containers right here are all of the earring parts that I have made out of clay. These are all of the items like pins, jump rings, earring backs. These are all of my miscellaneous beads and bulkier items. And then on the bottom here I keep all of my clay supplies. So in here I have a bundle of just tools that I can use for shaping the clay, putting textures on top of the clay. I have my pasta roller in the back that I use to get perfect slabs of clay. This bag is just miscellaneous clay that has been opened. I have my tools that cut the clay into shapes and sizes in this bin, and then my clay is underneath here in this container. So if I can turn this around, you can see that I have been using these shower hooks that I showed you previously to just hang this Dremel tool on, and it works perfectly to disguise it out of sight and out of mind until I need it. And the final corner of my art setup is where I keep all of my clothing merch, like tote bags, t-shirts, sweatshirts. You can see I keep my forms, my t-shirt forms under here below, so they are out of sight. This rack right here is where I keep all of my items that are done. They have been heat pressed and they are ready to be sold. On this shelf over here is where I keep my blank stock. I have some hats that are ready to be printed on and have tags sewn onto them. On this shelf we have blank t-shirts. On this shelf are some empty pants that I just bought. In this basket I keep miscellaneous fabric and then my bleach, because I use bleach to dye shirts. Behind here I have my bigger canvas storage. So that is the full tour of my studio. thank you for joining me today. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed filming it for you. If you have any questions or comments about how I organize my desk, please comment below. One thing I wanted to share with you guys who made it to the end of the video is that I will be launching my website on January 30th of this month, 2024. It is time. I have worked so long on creating this brand, The Magnetic Aesthetic. I will have digital downloads of my art ready for you guys, and I will also have a small collection of earrings, t-shirts, tote bags. There is a limited quantity that I'm going to be putting up on my website as far as physical products go, so please make sure you check out my website right now, The Magnetic Aesthetic, and sign up for our email list so you can be the first to know when the website launches. I just want to take a quick second to let you guys know that you don't have to have this big of a setup to make art. You don't have to have 99% of the supplies that I do to create art. All you need is a pencil and a piece of paper, and you have as much power as any other artist out there. So please don't let that stop you from creating. You don't need any of this. The supplies that I have been building up for years. This is not my first art studio setup that I've created for myself. This is an evolution of a process that I enjoy doing. It brings me so much joy to organize my things and lay them out what works best for me. I hope it inspires you to keep creating and to evolve your workspace as well. This is a process. Nothing is ever complete as an artist. Things will evolve. That's one of the most fun parts for me. So thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye!